But it's so interesting though, because not a lot of people, like, I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I love to process out loud. And people do at times feel like, oh, like they're just walking on my toes, like they're not giving me room to speak. But in my head, I'm just like, I'm just walking through this for myself. And you guys are just getting insight into what I'm thinking, where I've come to find out like a majority of people are not that way. So they don't understand that I'm just processing and kind of figuring out what I believe. Yeah. Like my wife, for one. Like, she does not process out loud. Yeah. She's one of those people who's both like, I need to sit and I need to think about this. Yeah. And then once I've thought about it, I can give you my opinion. Where I'm just like, no. I need to talk about it. And then, like, once I've talked about it enough, like, I'll kind of understand where I believe. I can listen to other people and what they're saying. Yeah. But I've, like, remember, like, that was a big part of Liz and I when we were doing, like, our marriage counseling, like, before we get, like, our premarital stuff. Like, we learned that we both kind of look at this a different way. Where I'm just kind of like, hey, talk.
That's good that you learned it then.
Yeah.
Because most people learn it once they're married.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
It is.
That's hard.
Because I think that people want to process, like, get through stuff like I do.
Right.
And I'm constantly, like, pushing her, like, come on, name what you're feeling. Like, let's go. What is it? How do we get through it? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I need like a day. And I'm just like,
a day?
A day. Yeah. That's 24 hours. Are you sure? So we'll schedule it for 6 tomorrow?
Yeah. We could have this done in an hour.
Yeah, maybe. If that.
Britt's exactly the same way. I hope she doesn't kill me for saying this, but the other day, just this past week, I thought it was had a conversation. I thought we were just talking. And then I don't remember if it was that night or the next day. She brings me a letter. And she's like, I wrote it out because I knew I wouldn't be able to just kind of say everything that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So, and it was a beautiful letter. Like, it was, there was nothing negative about it. She was basically like, I'm dealing with this still.
Yeah.
And like, I'm working through it, and nothing that you said like was wrong.
Yeah.
This is how I felt about it. Mm-hmm. This is why I felt that way. You know, and she just was able to kind of get it out in that way.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I think our wives are very similar in that way.
It's a beautiful thing when, like, even that, like, maybe people who are listening right now are like, your wife brought you a letter, like she couldn't talk to you, and you're just like,
but it was awesome because I read it with her right next to me.
Yeah, whatever keeps communication open.
Yeah.
I don't care if, like, you go spray paint on the side of the house, so, like, you're mad at me, but, like, that's your way of communicating that to me. Now, Chase, if you ever hear this as you're growing up, don't spray paint our house. But, like, whatever it takes to keep lines of communication open, because that's the only way, like, healthy relationships last. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's when we keep stuff that's pent up that stuff starts to deteriorate.
And I keep stuff pent up in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the interesting thing about it is I'm, much more open, much more, if I'm thinking it, I'm probably going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
everybody needs a JC in their life.
But I have learned because of my wife.
Yeah.
When to hold my tongue or when to kind of give it out slowly and kind of work up to that place. And if I feel like she's already clenching up and like being like, oh crap, I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah.
I'll just let it go.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely helped me because I know I'm going to deal with, I mean, there's your wife. I know there's going to be other people that I deal with in life that are going to have that personality. And now I know how to talk to them.
Yeah.
So that's a positive in that regard that, you know, she's really helped me see I'm an only child.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to deal with any other personalities in my home other than my parents.
Your dad.
Yeah, but
your
like,
dad's a personality.
Me and my dad have like a similar personality.
It's true. It is true.
Now, I learned a lot from my mom to not have some of the negative traits. Like, I can talk to my dad easily. Yeah. I'm like one of the few people that can really like just have a normal conversation with him. Just because we'll just go at it and I'm like completely comfortable with it.
Yeah.
We'll be yelling at each other and it scares Britt half to death. But and then we'll just be like,
hug it out, bro.
What do you want to watch on TV? It's different.
Yeah.
It is different. But yeah, I've definitely grown in my ability to speak to people, that communicate in that way.
Yeah.
And I've learned kind of the beauty of it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that way sometimes gets you further than my kind of more brash, because it's not as, sometimes things need to develop. Sometimes things need to take time to really get to the heart of it or to really see it in its fullness, whatever idea, whatever situation you're talking about. So yeah, I've had to definitely learn in that regard a lot.
I feel like most guys do.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if that's a guy thing.
I
sure.
I just think most guys need to learn how to communicate better. And maybe not even communicate better, but learn how to like read the people they're talking to and then like adjust on that and not just say like, hey, I'm Pat, so I'm going to come in and talk like Pat wants to talk, but saying like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sitting across the table from JC, so I can say whatever I feel like and he's not really going to be offended by it. But if I sit across the table from Britt, I'm kind of like, okay, we're going to kind of like
What are we
work
not
through
gonna
this
say
a little
here?
bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And that's why we need to talk to more people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, because if we don't have this tool bag of communication,
Yeah.
it's going to be a rough life because you're going to deal with so many different people over the course of your life. And if you're not regularly equipping yourself for this task,
Yeah.
we're going to get the crap that we have now in our country where no one knows how to talk to each other anymore. What's up, everybody? You just watched a clip from one of our Just Breathing podcasts. If you want to see the full version, you just hit the link in the description below. Or if you want to just keep watching clips, we got some more right here. Thanks, everybody.